Just talk about the weather, Joey. Just talk about the weather. I'm just the weather dude. How come you're not talking about the weather? Even on my own personal Facebook page, my own friends are like, just talk about the weather, man. It's my own personal Facebook page. I can say whatever I want on it. Anyways, how can you only talk about the weather when stuff like this is going on in the world? Let's talk about it. Let's go. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Out right now. Anything could happen.
Get on. Wow. I'll watch the video later. Take time up in this. Yeah, like and share and subscribe. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Guy. Dude. That's me, right. I really appreciate all the support. Some people have been leaving some really great super donations, and that is putting food on my friggin' plate. Love you for it. Okay, let's watch this.
And
this is John Morales.
To my presentations over my 34 years.
34 years in South Florida.
Confidently. I went on TV and I told you it's going to turn.
He told you what hurricanes are going to do.
It is going to turn. And I am here to tell
you was always right.
I'm not sure I can do that this year.
He's not sure he can be right anymore.
Because of the cuts.
Because of Trump. Because of
sledgehammer attack on science in general.
The attack on science.
We could talk about that for a long, long time.
Could talk for a long time, yes, we could.
How that is affecting the U.S. Leadership in science over many years.
You're becoming a third world country fast, America.
And this is a multi-generational impact on
you are destroying your country. You're destroying your science.
Specifically, let's talk about the federal government cuts.
19 to 39% understaffed now.
Did you know that Central and South Florida National Weather Service offices are currently basically 20 to 40% understaffed?
17% reduction in weather balloon launches. Data not being collected.
20 to 40% understaffed. Now, this type of staffing shortage is having impacts across the nation because
yes, it is. It's even impacting Canada.
Reduction in weather balloon launches that carry those radiosondes. And what we're starting to see.
How do we make predictions if we don't actually know exactly what's going on up there?
There's also a chance because of some of these cuts that NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft will not be able to fly this year.
Can you imagine?
Less reconnaissance missions. We may
not putting hurricane tracking aircraft up there.
Exactly know how strong a hurricane is before it reaches the coast.
Just let it blindly come.
Happened a couple of years ago in Hurricane Otis.
Yeah, Florida doesn't mind, or Mexico doesn't mind.
I was asked to talk about this today. I'm glad I was. I just want you to know that what you need to do is call your representatives.
No, you need to have a revolution right now. You need to be on the streets and fight. Just talking to your representatives isn't having any effect whatsoever. It's not making a difference. The Democratic Party isn't going to fight for you. It's not going to make the stand it needs to make to save its own country. And I'm telling you, this will impact Canada. In fact, you might be watching a Caribou Weather Dude YouTube episode later on down the road where I make a forecast, I make predictions, and I don't have complete data. I'm working with a mishmash of information that is now being called the GFS model. Have you noticed I don't use the GFS model anymore? Why is that? Why is Joey using the European model? Why is the European model more friggin' accurate than the American GFS model? Go friggin' figure it out, folks. So what if I go make a prediction and it doesn't come true? Then you're like, Joey's a bad weatherman. Yeah. Well, they reduced the weather balloon launches by 20%. So, we were shooting in the dark as to what was actually going on up there. Do you see what's going on? Do you see why a guy like me can't just pretend that it's only about the weather? And furthermore, I fucking reject you coming onto my Facebook and telling me I just need to talk about the weather. It's like, man, you're a plumber or you're a chef. Do we expect you to talk about being a chef everywhere you go every second of the fucking day? Is that all you are? Is a chef? Is that all I am as a weatherman? Just talk about the weather, Joey. Just talk about the weather. Don't talk about politics. Man, you can't live in a bubble. A man is not an island. Heartbroken weatherman stops mid-report to explain on live TV why he can't forecast anymore. Okay, well, let's talk about this little story here. We think you're the most accurate weatherman, Joey. And I say, well, no, there's a lot of really good weathermen out there. That's because we have great data, right? We're collecting data. We're sending weather balloons up all the time, collecting atmospheric data. We have aircraft flying that collect atmospheric data. We have satellites collecting data. We have stations. We have people manning those stations collecting data. Well, what if you start removing the data? How accurate do you think your forecasts are going to be, folks? Then you're going to sit there and you're going to blame the weatherman, aren't you? You're going to blame the weatherman for the fact that the Trump administration has purposely attacked environmental agencies. Okay, so that's John Morales, meteorologist and hurricane specialist with NBC6 in South Florida, reporting on an upcoming storm. He shifted gears right in the middle of the broadcast, as you saw. He explains that in his 34 years of presenting the weather, he's always been able to confidently tell his viewers what a hurricane might be doing, or when it might hit, when it might turn away. He's always been able to stand behind his data, modeling, and forecast in order to help protect the people of South Florida. And he says, I'm here to tell you, I'm not sure I can do that this year. Why? Because of the cuts, the gutting, the sledgehammer attack on science in general. Morales pulled up the graphic instead of his usual weather map. It laid out some stark realities about severe understaffing of the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Brutal layoffs, employees accepting Doge buyouts, straight-up resignation. The agencies responsible for collecting weather data have lost hundreds and hundreds of valuable experts. He explained that due to federal funding budget cuts, there's been a sizable decrease in weather balloon launches across the country. Weather balloons are instruments that take crucial measurements of the upper atmosphere and send data that helps with forecasting. With less data available and lower quality data, Morales says the quality of forecasting is becoming degraded. No shit. That's a pretty scary thought in a place like South Florida. It's a scary thought everywhere, folks. It's a multi-generational impact on science in this country, Morales warns. Okay, almost 9 million people viewed the clip on X. It was shared 26,000 times. It's not just the National Weather Service that's bleeding in the name of efficiency. The White House slashed CDC, the National Institutes of Health, and more. Seems like the only thing they haven't slashed is the budget for ICE, the budget for terrorizing people, the budget for putting military into their own cities and attacking their own citizens. You know, like they've already had their coup a couple years ago on January 6th. Now they're in, and they're trying to institute a authoritarian vision of the United States, and that includes an attack on science. Why would you attack science, Joey? Because science tells truth, and these people hate truth. These people don't care about knowledge. They are ultimately stupid themselves, and they have no value in other people being smart. Do you think that it was an accident that intellectuals were attacked by the Nazis back in the 30s and 40s? Okay. Meanwhile, we're spending $1 trillion per year in the military. The anti-science, anti-expert sentiment Morales is talking about, it's been building for years. It's coming to a head in the worst way. We still need scientists. ChatGPT can pull weather data from its ass and tell you if there's going to be a thunderstorm, kind of, not really reliably. It can't tell you the data behind the forecast if it's incomplete or unreliable. It can't tell you from experience what thunderstorms do. It's never sat there and watched a thunderstorm. It's never felt one. It's never sent drones up into one or balloons. It's never had instrument on the ground reading what's going on. The ChatGPT is not capable of having a relationship with the weather the way that weather nerd specialists like myself and meteorologists do. TV weathermen who live in our communities can put crucial context behind the weather and help keep us safe still. It still matters. Not only that, they're ambassadors for science. We have a big platform in our communities around the country. I'm one of these people. Morales is making sure he makes the most of his. This is the kind of nonsense we can't have in Canada. And every time that you point to me and say, Joey, just talk about the weather. Just talk about the weather. I'm going to tell you we're no longer in a period of human history where a guy can simply just put his head down, stick his head in his own ass, and talk about the weather only. That's the way it is. We got to speak out now. And we got to defend common sense. We got to defend truth. We got to defend science. We got to defend reason. We got to defend intellectualism. We got to defend people who are trying to do right for others. Okay, hit like, share, subscribe. Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Bye now.